Once upon a time, in a quiet village, nestled between two mighty rivers, the women were the pillar upon which everything stood. From dawn to dusk, they worked without rest, tending the crops, fetching water, cooking meals, and caring for the children. They shouldered not only their burden, but also the burden of their husbands. The men, on the other hand, were idle. They sat in the village square under the large shade of tree, drinking palm wine, gossiping and gambling. They did little to no contribution aside fathering children, and even then, they offer no help, even when their wives are heavily pregnant. Among these men were Emeka, a man with a heart hardened by tradition. He often boasts about how his wife Nneka served him despite her suffering. One afternoon, as they all sat together as usual, he recorded an event from the previous night. My wife Nneka was complaining about back pain yesterday, he said. She sat under the tree thinking I would help her with the house chores, but I shouted at her. I told her to be like Pa Eze's wife. She got up fast, even with pain. She did all the house chores and even prepared my favorite food faster than ever. The other men laughed out loud. You did well, Emeka, Eze said, who was equally proud of the way he ruled his household. These women were made to serve us. We are the head of this house. Our job is to relax and enjoy. They will do the work and even serve us in the night. The other men laugh. You are right, they all echo. But then, as the men boast of their authority, the women grew more and more weary. Nneka heart achy, not just from the labor, but the loneliness of a marriage where love had no place. She shared her sorrow with her dear friend Adana, who was also struggling under the weight of her own husband, Chukwuma, indifference. My legs are swollen, my back ache, and the baby kick me constantly, Nneka confided one evening as they fetch water. Yet Emeka does nothing. He won't even hold our younger child for a moment. Adana, on the other hand, her eyes was filled with sadness. It is so in my house, she said. Chukwuma barely speak to me, let alone help. I feel more like a servant than a wife in my own house. Both eyes filled with sadness almost burst into tears. The two women, along with others, were at the breaking point. Their love for their children kept them going, but their spirit was shattered. They knew something had to be done. One evening, after a long day of restless work, Nneka and Adana gathered the other women in the village square. The moon hung low, casting a soft light in their faces, which were done with exhortation. They had decided to seek help, but not just for their husband. They would visit the native doctor, a wise man known for his deep connection to the gods. The next day, when they arrived at his humble shrine, the native doctor welcomed them with compassion in his eyes. The women sat around him, almost in tears, their voice as they spoke in pain, their loneliness and their husband neglect and constant nagging. Great native doctor, Nneka pleaded, please, sir, we are wearing. Our husband does nothing but drink and boast while we carry the weight of the work in the house. Even when we are pregnant, they abandon us to the feed and kitchen. Please ask the gods to help, the other women also said. Please, sir, ask the gods to help, they all echo. The native doctor closed his eyes in a deep thought. After a long silence, he spoke. The gods have seen your suffering. They are angry with your husband, for they have forgotten the meaning of love and partnership. But fear not, the gods will deliver justice. The men will be punished, and through their suffering, they will learn the true value of family. The women left the shrine with hope in their hearts, thought they know not when the change will come. Days pass, weeks pass, and even months pass. Nothing seems to change. Everything remains the same. The men still drink and gamble while the women labor under the hot sun. But then, one day, something strange begin to happen. One afternoon, as Emeka and the other men gather under the same shade for their usual drink, they found themselves growing dizzy after just a few sips. Emeka, known for his tolerance, suddenly felt the ground spinning in his eyes. What is happening? What is happening? He struggled. But before he could take another step, he collapsed into the dirt. The other men found themselves too drunk beyond control. After all, a small sip of palm wine, they begin to stagger home, while others found themselves sleeping in the market or by the roadside. They found themselves in front of the entire village. The next day, they try again to gather and drink, but the same thing happen. No matter how little they drink, they will always get drunk by a strange, deliberate drunken spirit. For weeks, this continued. The once proud and boastful men were now the subject of mockery in the village. Their wife, who once feared their harsh word, watched as the husband slept in the bush, in the market, struggled home in shame. Even the men realized they had to act fast. Pa Emeka and the others gathered in the village chief hut to discuss their strange fate. After much deliberate, they decide to seek the wisdom of the gods. When they arrived at the chief priest's hut, the air was thick with tension. The priest, an elderly man with eyes that have seen to see into their very own soul, greeted them with a knowing look. "You have come because the gods are angry," he said with a voice like thunder. "You have treated your wife as a slave, not as equal. You have abandoned your duty as husband and father. The gods have cursed you with the spirit of drunkenness to humble you, to make you see the errors of your ways." The men were speechless, their shame upon them. The priest continued, his voice softer now. "Family is not authority or control. It is about love, respect and cooperation. You must change your ways or the curse remain." After much talk, the men broken, they returned to the village, their pride scattered. That night, Emeka, for the first time in years, held his daughter in his hand while Nneka cooked. He watched her with a new eyes, seeing not just the woman who bore him children, but the person who has kept their home together, even as he ignored her suffering. Eze too went to his wife, helped with the evening chores, his heart heavy with guilt. Slowly, the other men followed suit. The village began to change. In the morning, there was none of them sitting under the tree to drink. Instead, some went to the field, others went to the river to catch fish. In the evening, when they returned, they helped with the children baths. They also shared the responsibility of home. The women who had once been bored beyond their strength now find relief in partnership of their husbands. The village flourished not just in wealth, but in peace and love. The men learnt that being husband and father was not sitting under the tree with a drink, but about building a life with those they love. And so, the village was restored. Its people unite by the understanding of family. Family is not a burden to be borne by one, but a gift to be shared by all. The moral of the story is equality in relationship. Every successful family is built on mutual respect, love and partnership. When one person shoulder all the burden in the and the other neglect their responsibility, the relationship become imbalanced and unhealthy. Sharing responsibility, both men and women have a vital role in maintaining a household. Neither should be viewed less, and both should contribute to the well-being of the family in their own way. When we neglect, when we fail to respect others, there are often consequences, long-term or short-term. The men in the story learned the lesson through their course of drunkenness. Also, personal growth and change requires us to be humble. The men had to confront their arrogance, admit their mistake, and before they could improve their ways. We should learn to work together. Sharing responsibility, everyone around us will benefit. The village thrive when the men finally join the women in their works, showing the power of unity and cooperation. This message is also to men. Please try and share the responsibility with your wife. And wife also try and respect your husband. Thank you for being here today. To my returning subscriber, thank you. See you on my next one. God bless you. Please tell me what you think about the story. I will be on the comment section. Thank you. See you. Bye.